Hello there and welcome to this Saturday's afternoon edition of YES101's Visual Radio. I'm Theruni Karunaratne, first on to your news here at home. The president of the Government Radiological Technologies Association, Chanaka Dharmavikrama, says that radiation treatments at the Maharagam Apeksha hospital have been disrupted due to an electrical system malfunction. Now, 3 machines used for cancer patient examinations have been out of commission since the 31st of December. While 2 of these machines have been restored, 1 remains non-operational. Each of these machines typically treat around 60 cancer patients daily. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Customs says that 88,000 metric tons of imported rice have been released to the market so far. This includes 34,000 metric tons of raw rice and 54,000 metric tons of parboiled rice. The government's deadline for rice imports is set to conclude on the 10th of January. In response to the rice shortage in the market, the government permitted private sector importers to also import rice to the country. Well, in more local news, the Ministry of Tourism has raised concerns over the lack of adequate security measures for tourists visiting Sigiriya, particularly in the event of a wasp attack. In a discussion chaired by the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Dr. Ruan Ranasinghe, several issues faced by both locals and foreigners were highlighted. The meeting included senior officials from the Tourism Promotion Bureau, Department of Forest Conservation, Urban Development Authority, Dambula Divisional Secretariat, Central Cultural Fund and the Department of Archaeology. Now, key concerns raised include long queues at ticket counters, the absence of first aid stations, security issues due to inadequate street lighting and the lack of water facilities. Other issues raised were the unfriendliness of security personnel, insufficient regulation of guide services and the lack of proper inspections. Special attention was also paid to the need for a resting place for tourists struggling to climb Sigiriya. Additionally, the discussion also covered plans to improve the Sigiriya Museum, need to organize instructions and notice boards at Sigiriya in a thematic and visual manner, and restore the ancient water fountains with the support from the Department of Archaeology. Let's now move on to international news.
International news.
US President Joe Biden has blocked the takeover of US Steel by a bigger Japanese firm, delivering on a political promise despite the fears the move could hurt Washington's relations with Tokyo and scare off other foreign investors. Biden cited threats to national security in rejecting the Nippon Steel purchase, saying US ownership was important to keeping the US steel industry and its supply chains strong. His intervention follows pressure from the United Steelworkers Union, which had opposed a transaction that was a sensitive political issue in the 2024 US presidential election. Coming up next is sports news.
Sports news.
Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola said he was responsible for his side's underwhelming form this season, in which they have won just 2 of their last 10 Premier League games. The run of poor form has left the reigning champions 6th in the standings with 31 points from 19 matches, 14 fewer than leaders Liverpool, who have a game in hand. City's campaign have been hindered by a rash of injuries, with Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, goalkeeper Ederson, as well as defenders John Stones and Ruben Dias among those sidelined. And that's a wrap of this edition of YES101's Visual Radio. I'm Theruni Karunaratne. Stay tuned with News First for more of the very latest.